My name is Kenny Dyal, and I want to welcome you to the Scuba Diving channel. This channel is for anybody that is aquatically inclined or just aquatically curious. Tracy has been a successful dive shop owner for a very long time, had a huge hand in helping me launch my own dive shop back in the day. He took time out of his day right here in his shop to actually sit down with me while he has a course going on. Luckily, his instructor candidates were in the middle of taking a test. So, Tracy Grubbs. You bought a shop that already existed. That was how many years ago?
Started with a store when we opened it 25 years ago and fully took ownership 11 years ago in December.
Why did you decide to do it in the first place?
Came out of the automotive industry and another dog-eat-dog world. I'd already been diving and it was a passion. Everybody talks about turning passions into love and then that turning into a job. That love for doing it is one stimulus to that, but it takes everybody around you to keep you motivated enough to keep it going. It takes a team, but at home especially.
If you could lean into one thing that you feel was the most crucial to getting that balance with the family and the dive shop.
When I left the auto industry, I was already working a ton of hours. So going from that into the dive industry, we had that balance already. Even though I'm gone a lot traveling, I'm home more now than I was before. It actually added more time for the family. So it's finding that balance of having extra time at the house, especially as the kids were getting older. Without the staff that I have, there'd be no way for me to do it. You know, that's the big thing.
How does someone find the staff?
A lot of praying. There is no real answer to that. It's a lot of training. It's a lot of cross training. Making sure that if somebody's sick or whatnot, that you're not worried about the back of the store versus the front of the store. I'm proud enough to say that I've got staff that came through me, that has left me, that are all over the world teaching and diving. That to me gives me more passion to what I do also.
One trick to hiring good staff, what is it?
Listening to what they're telling you, not what you want them to do. I mean, because it really is a relationship between a business and an employee, because even though we have fun, it's still an employee.
It has to work.
It has to work on both sides.
What, since you started, it is said, it is spoken, it is in stone, and that opinion has done a 180 today?
The technical arena, dealing with the different equipment styles that are out there, side mount, back mount, rebreathers, technical diving, not recreational. There's been manufacturers now that have produced units that are for the recreational market. So 10, 15 years ago, we'd look at it and went, yeah, that shouldn't be for everybody as far as recreationally, because they didn't have the experience level. Now you can take somebody straight out of open water and put them in one because the technology has changed. And that's probably what's changed my opinion. But there's so many dive stores that hear rebreathers and they cringe about it. But reality is worldwide market is taking off with them already.
What to you, if you're a fly on the wall, would define a successful dive shop?
If you have repeat customers coming back in and you keep adding to that repeat base and it keeps growing, that's successful business.
What one thing would you leave somebody with out there as far as how to grow that base?
Treat people the way you want to be treated. It's a golden rule.
It seems simple.
It seems simple, but people have a hard time figuring that one out. And if you got that relationship going that way, then things should be good.
Tracy, you got a busy shop, you got a lot of staff. Burnout has to have come up from time to time.
If you get into the regiment and you're teaching open water and that's it, no other classes, you're going to burn out. But never not stop teaching open water. You have to teach open water because they teach you what you forget. I'm teaching an instructor class, I'm teaching technical classes, cave classes, rebreather classes, having the multitudes of things to change it up. And then making sure that we have special events, not just diving. Getting out in the community and having something that's not a dive base, but having the rest of our family together You got to have a party for everybody, customers and staff. We do that every November for Thanksgiving.
How do you do it? Still stay safe, still stay sane, and have fun and want to do it again?
The biggest thing is the prep. You know, like in all dive briefings, some people go, briefing should be brief. I disagree. A briefing should be broad. If your dive briefing or preparation to all the events are all-inclusive, you should be able to answer everything that's thrown to you before we go to that event. And if it is, when we get to the event, everything should be flawless.
So you're saying brief early, brief
thoroughly.
Okay.
If you're the last minute planner, you're probably going to have a lot of debriefing later.
Strictly speaking of the briefing, where some people say, hey, after a few minutes their eyes glaze over or it's info overload. How do you straddle that?
You're keeping them moving as you're talking.
So
if you walk and move, you won't give them time to sit and be idle.
I opened a dive shop, and if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't have opened the dive shop. You helped me open a shop myself.
The thing with dive industry is everybody thinks that it's a dog-eat-dog world. Yeah, you may have a store that opens up a mile down the street. I'm not going to say it doesn't suck, because it does. But at the same time is what you do as a store makes you who you are. Don't worry about the competition. And that's a tough one to say. If you focus on it, you're going to lose focus on your own business. You need to be doing what is right for your store day-to-day operation, taking care of your customers, taking care of everything. What your atmosphere is in your store is what holds that particular customer to you. In the dive industry, competition is everything outside the dive industry. We're in Florida. There are so many different activities for somebody to get involved into. Kayaks, stand-up paddleboard, jet skiing, boating, fishing. You have all of these other entities that are fighting for the same disposable income that comes from our customer base. So you have to bring them in that they're going to be focused into your store and not other activities.
What do you look forward to right now today?
So an end goal of a dive shop owner is to either A, pass it down to the kids, or B, retire happily and successfully. The other passion I have is mountain biking.
You think it's important once in a while to completely step out of it and just get a fresh perspective?
Especially with the family. You know, my family dives also, so we go from diving in the shop to diving as a family. You have to have another extracurricular activity. All my family bikes also, so we do it as a family event too.
What would you tell dive shop owners right now? What one piece of positive advice would you love to tell everybody?
Dive shop owners aren't enemies of each other. Communicate with each other. Be able to get together with groups to be able to communicate ideals between other shop owners to help each other out. It's the only way we're going to stay in business. That's what I would suggest.
Cool. Almost a strength in numbers thing.
Yep, absolutely.
Tracy,
Sir.
Love it. Thanks for coming on.
No, thank you.
If you want the full-length, uncensored interview, go to sweetwaterscuba.com.